I want to welcome you to the show today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. My name is Yaya Diamond, and I am your host today. And I have an amazing guest on the show. I'm so very excited to have her here. It's Miss Lindy Kerr. I'm so very excited to have you. Thank you so much. So, I always ask the author to tell us your journey of how you got to the book. I mean, what happened to make you get to this book?
All right. Well, I grew up in Northwest New Mexico on a little farm, and I was outside a lot, and I learned to um, just, uh, just notice the creation out there and the beauty of it and how things worked. And so I always had that in the back of my mind. And then I moved down to southern New Mexico where there's a drought about 80% of the time or 90% of the time. There is a lot of dryness down here. And so I started noticing how plants they waited until the right amount of rain before they came up. And one year it rained a lot, and there were plants that we hadn't seen in 10 or 15 years because they weren't ready to come up yet.
Oh my gosh.
And so I started just pondering these kind of things and how God just created things to survive in the desert, animals and plants. And so this idea of seeds uh, just started forming in my head, and then I was just compelled to write the book.
Wow.
And so that's what I did.
That is so cool. And excuse me, but I was like, what other question could I have? Because I know that there's a lot of different factors going on. Like you lived in the desert. You live in the desert. And it's like, it's different than where I live. Like I live in Florida. There's no
Oh,
desert here. Okay, there's plenty of rain and plenty of green grass and red ants.
yeah, oh, red ants.
Lots
And
of
we
red
do
ants.
have ants, but what did you
Oh.
ask?
I said, so I was coming up with like different questions and I was trying to figure out what I could ask you because living in the desert is totally different than where I live. And most people don't live in the desert. So, I mean, what inspired you to become the author that wrote this book too? Because I know that you said, you love it, everything, but what was the moment that you said, I have got to, I got
Oh,
to.
wow. Um, well, I think that I wanted to share it.
Mm,
I just wanted to share the creation. I saw that a lot of people live in cities and are not able to look at the things. And then when I think about a lot of the world, it does rain. And in fact, even in where I grew up, I don't think I would have come up with this idea at all until I moved down to where it is absolutely so dry that everything should die. But it doesn't. And then it just deepened my faith in God and how He created things to be in the desert. And I just wanted to share that, and I wanted to share it with children. It's a children's book, and but it's also a book. I have several adults who have mentioned, I learned a lot from reading that book. In fact, it's just a small children's book, but the awesomeness of how things survive, I just wanted to share that. And I don't know how many years ago it was that I did start putting together in my mind this book. And then I illustrated the book also. So I started thinking
nice.
about, I started thinking about fun little ways to illustrate it. But I am also a teacher of science.
Okay.
And I taught science in junior high, and I love science because it's just all about how God's nature works, and
Mm-hmm.
so I've always loved it. I guess that's just been my thing. But coming up with this book, I just wanted to share, and I love to. So the book is interactive, just
Mhm.
like right there. It says how are seeds specially programmed, and and there are questions in the book to help children or whoever's reading to develop their critical thinking skills and start wondering about those. And that's what I tell everybody, never lose your sense of wonder about how things are working out in the natural world.
Yeah, definitely. Seeds. I mean, without bees, without seeds, we wouldn't have food. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
like broccoli and cauliflower, all these things they develop from seeds. I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, so what kind of seeds did you plant in the desert?
Well, you know, where you live, you just, when you go out and plant a garden, you just put the seeds in the ground and then it rains on it, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, here we have to work really hard to get something to grow. And I do grow a garden. In fact, see, I live on a ranch. I have 180 cattle, and I have a ranch and so I have a garden. But I have to, we get our water from wells that we drill.
Hmm.
And if it rains, it's just so wonderful. It makes everything so happy. It makes all the desert plants happy, and you can see their happiness out there. But a garden, you have to just water it with a hose, and you plant it and then just water it, and you have to water it, you know, about twice a week at least,
Hmm.
and for it to grow. So it seems like everything, we have to work just harder to make it happen.
Hmm. Hmm. I see the book. I think that is just an amazing thing. I want to go back really quick on your page because we are sharing your website.
How are seeds specially programmed? How do seeds sprout? How do they spread all over the earth? What protects seeds in a drought? God's amazing creation. The Story of Seeds is a book that explores these questions and acknowledges the God who orchestrated it all. God's Amazing Creation, The Story of Seeds by Lindy Kerr, available on Amazon.
That is so cute.
You
I
know,
think
my
it is so cute.
grandson did that.
Oh, that is so cute. I love his voice. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of takes, but we finally got it.
So what kind of challenges did you have to overcome to actually write this book?
Well, the time factor was one thing because I was very busy. I am very busy doing the ranch things, and then I was a teacher for a while and different things. So I think that squeezing in the time to do it, and then I did just start jotting things down,
Hmm.
and the words came pretty easily, but the drawings took the longest time.
Hmm.
And one of the challenges I had was what kind what kind of do I use, watercolors or do I use pencils? Or and then I'm really thankful to Authors Tranquility Press
Hmm.
because they brightened it and put it together and made a nice book, a lot brighter.
Hmm. They did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Great
Yes,
job.
it's really
They
nice.
always do a great job. And the whole thing is that you got to see something that was in your mind manifest. What was that like for you?
Thrilling. It was like, well, I have dabbled in art, and every time I do it, I think, "Ugh," look what you did, Lord. You did that through my hand.
Mm,
And
that
I just, I don't know. To me, to see the book actually made, it's like, wow, how did I get here?
mhm.
It. I don't know. All I can say is that I just had the idea and I put it together and I just kept sitting down at the table and writing and drawing and throwing that away and writing and drawing some more. And finally, we got to the book. And then I do have other ideas for books. In fact, that's why I made the book. The book's title is God's Amazing Creation, The Story of Seeds. And the reason is
Mhm.
because the next book will be God's Amazing Creation, The Story of Birds and Nests. And so I have a lot more ideas turning around in my head, and I'm jotting down notes, and that's where I am on that one. But I have at least, I have ideas for at least 4 more books.
That is so cool. I was going to ask you that. Like, so you can't just stop at seeds. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, this is can't stop at seeds. I mean, seeds don't stop at seeds. You
yeah.
know,
Right. Seeds are just little bitty things, and you think, okay, a book about seeds, what kind of book is that? But then when start thinking about it, it's like one of the pages is like a little bean seed and it just looks dead, like a just inanimate seed. And you think, okay, how does that become alive? And still I'm amazed by it. I
mm,
am still just in awe every time I think about it. And that's why I wanted to share it. I had this driving urge to share these kind of things because I don't know how many people ponder that.
yeah,
or and
yeah.
and I just wanted them to just see, look, the seed sprouted. I mean, that's a miracle in
It is a
itself.
miracle. It definitely is a miracle. Wow, wow. What goals as an author do you have now that you have a few more books in your head? But what is your goal? Like, do you have a progressive goal?
Um Well, my goal for this year is to publish the next book. That's my goal. And then after that, like I am going to be 71 in a few days. And
Happy
so,
birthday!
yeah, thank you. I'm going to after that, I'm thinking, man, I need to really get busy on this before I just get too old and decrepit to do it. Although I can still ride my horse. I rode him yesterday. We branded and took care of some cattle business yesterday, but still I feel the clock ticking. And so yes, so for this year I have a goal to publish my next book.
Wow.
And then
Any,
after that, it will
yeah,
be just, I hope to do at least a book a year.
I got you. Any advice for those people who are scared to do a book, like scared to publish it and illustrate it and all that stuff? Any advice?
Oh, go for it. That's my advice. Just go for it because just like me, I don't consider myself an accomplished artist.
Hmm.
I'm not an accomplished artist. Actually, I've had artists that have encouraged me, but I haven't gone to school or taken it. I mean, I've just not really done a whole lot, but I just had this in my head and I wanted to do it. And that's what I would tell other people who are afraid. Just go for it. And even if, wherever it takes you, just go for it because at first I had no idea that my book would ever get published. And then it did.
Yeah, it's
It was
there.
just like, wow. I found a little publisher and published it. And then this is a republish
Mhm.
and I'm really, really happy about it. And I feel hopefully that people will be interested in it. But I really do hope that other people will be inspired to do it, because if I can do it, absolutely anybody can do it.
Right. Wow. Well, I mean, we have your book right here. You can get it on Amazon or Kindle, and it's God's Amazing Creation: The Story of Seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And you got other books coming out soon. Look at you! Look at that!
Here's,
Yes,
and you see right there, I got a
yes,
notable book seal
yes.
from the Pacific Book Review. And so I was pretty happy about that.
I would be too. I would be too. And you guys have seen the video, you've seen everything. Go ahead and get your copy today if you'd like to get your copy. And this is wonderful. Just sharing the seed process and everything with the children, and showing them that the tiny little mustard seed can be this huge mustard tree. And it's all because this little tiny seed that has a programming. We need to tell our kids about that. Hey, we're going to put that information in the description box below so that it'll be easy for you guys to find it, find her, and get an autographed book from her.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Lindy. Thank you. And
Well,
thank you
thank you,
guys.
Yaya. I
Oh,
appreciate it. The time that you've taken to interview me, I just appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
anytime, anytime. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. Don't forget to check out God's Amazing Creation, The Story of Seeds, right now. Just do it. All right.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.